So here in this image here, you see just the bloodstream surrounded by cells, right? And the cells are saying, I'm hungry, right? So they need chemical energy in the body, which is provided through the bloodstream. And what usually gets provided to those cells is glucose and triglycerides. Here now we can see glucose going through the bloodstream, and these cells on the surface of the arteries will have receptors represented by hands here that can catch the glucose and then use that energy. But what about the triglycerides? Well, what are triglycerides? They are a fat molecule, or three fat molecules attached together by a glycerol particle, which is kind of related to glucose. It's a byproduct of glucose degradation. But so glucose, here it says, is hydrophilic, which means water loving. And since the bloodstream is made up of mostly water, it can just easily go into the bloodstream and be there without too much trouble. But triglycerides are hydrophobic, phobia meaning afraid of, right? So they cannot simply spend a lot of time in the bloodstream. So they need kind of like a packaging molecule that will carry it through the bloodstream from place to place that it needs to go. This carrying molecule is called a lipoprotein. Now this lipoprotein, think of it like a carrying molecule or a boat, which is made up of fat molecules, and a combination of fat molecules and proteins can carry the triglycerides, the glycerol, and the three fatty acid molecules all attached. It also carries cholesterol and some fat soluble vitamins. And so there are many different types of lipoproteins with different functions. And the two that people are most familiar with are the low density lipoprotein, or LDL, and high density lipoprotein, or HDL. And people mostly refer to the fact that the amount of cholesterol that these lipoproteins are carrying. But keep in mind, they also carry triglycerides, cholesterol, fat soluble molecules, and they have different important functions of carrying this cargo to different parts of the body. So for LDL cholesterol, it is responsible for bringing this cargo to the cells in the surface of the blood vessel and providing those to those cells. And because of that, if the provision of cholesterol goes wrong, you could say, and there's cholesterol deposition on the surface of the artery, then you can have plaque buildup, narrowing of the wall of the artery, which can lead to like chest pain and heart attack, right? But it's still an important function to provide cholesterol to those cells, whether it gets executed properly or not. So it's still an important function that LDL lipoprotein, low density lipoprotein, is providing. It also has another function related to immunity, which I won't get into because that's too tangential, but it's definitely been shown that high levels of LDL, low density lipoprotein, can be protective with regards to pathogens. And so it's kind of wrong for it to be termed the bad cholesterol because it has important functions in the body that it needs to play. But then we also have HDL cholesterol, or HDL, high density lipoprotein, which also carries cholesterol and triglycerides, but it has a different function because what it does is it collects cholesterol from different parts of the body, and then it can bring it to the liver or to the adrenal glands, where the cholesterol can be used to produce important hormones that are, needed for proper function of the body in order to keep it healthy. So both have very important functions, but HDL is seen as the good cholesterol because it collects, or the good, lipoprotein, because it collects the cholesterol from around the body and brings it to a centralized place, whereas LDL kind of does the reverse of that, even though both functions are important.
Thanks for checking out that video. I hope you liked it. Here are a couple more for you to check out. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel.